Hey there YouTube, it's Bobby aka Paginator, and I am here today with a video where I'm going to talk quite a bit about Jay Kristoff and also show you a book haul. So, if you haven't caught on already, I am very congested. There is a huge amount of sinus pressure, especially on this side of my face, and I feel like my head is going to explode, so I apologize if I sound funny during this video at any time. So, this weekend is Mother's Day, which is a holiday that I do not enjoy at all, hate it, and so every year on this weekend I try to go do something for myself. Sometimes I see a play, sometimes I just go out of town to get out of town, whatever. But today I had actually decided to just stay at work on a Saturday and do some work on a video project I'm supposed to be doing for school. And then I changed my mind because Jay Kristoff was in Salt Lake City at the King's English, which is my favorite independent bookstore. And I thought, well, heck, I'm going to go see Jay Kristoff. And I did, and it was awesome. Wow, I have lots of things to say. So let me start with the book that this event is for is Aurora Rising, which is the first in a new series by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. She was not able to come because they're both from Australia, and she's very, very pregnant, about to have a baby any day. Could actually have already had a baby when this video is posted. Who knows? And so she obviously could not fly and travel to these bookish events. So he was just there and was being interviewed by Sarah B. Larson, who is also a YA author. And it was a lot of audience questions and that kind of thing because it was just very chill. So if I can find a decent picture on the camera that I had with me, I will insert a photo here so you can kind of see the setting of the event that we were at. Alright, so I don't know if that photo worked or not. If there's not one there, you'll know that I didn't get a very good one on my camera. Sorry. The event was outdoors, and I was in about the third row, so I had a very good view, but it was still kind of tricky to get a good picture because the camera that I had with me isn't my best one. Yeah, enough about that. So, Aurora Rising, like I said, this is the book the event was there to promote, and he signed it for me. So you can see he wrote my name there, and there is his signature, and then this here is a stamp of Amy Kaufman's signature. You could either get this or get like an IOU kind of stamp, and if she's back in Salt Lake again, she will sign it for you. I just figured I'd get the stamp because if she does come back to Salt Lake, it's not guaranteed that I'm going to be able to get there because depending on the time of year, sometimes the weather's bad and you can't just get to Salt Lake from where I live in Wyoming. So I got the stamp, and I am going to read a bit to you from the dust jacket. It says the year is 2380, and the graduating cadets of Aurora Academy are being assigned their first missions. Star pupil Tyler Jones is ready to recruit the squad of his dreams, but his own boneheaded heroism sees him stuck with the dregs nobody else in the academy would touch. A cocky diplomat with a black belt in sarcasm, a sociopath scientist with a fondness for shooting her bunkmates, a smartass tech whiz with the galaxy's biggest chip on his shoulder, an alien warrior with anger management issues, a tomboy pilot who's totally not into Ty, in case you were wondering. And Ty Squad isn't even his biggest problem. That would be Aurora G. Lynn O'Malley, the girl he just rescued from the interdimensional space. Trapped in cryosleep for 2 centuries, Ari is a girl out of time and out of her depth. But she could be the catalyst for a war of millions of years in the making, and Tyler's squad of losers, discipline cases, and misfits might just be the last hope for the entire galaxy. Nobody panic. I like that synopsis on the dust jacket. I don't always love dust jacket synopses, but that's a good one. When I got to the event and picked up the book that I had pre-ordered, they gave me a set of bookmarks that have the characters, the 7 characters in them. So this is Tyler here, and then we have Scarlett, who is Tyler's twin sister. Then we have Kat, who's the one that's totally not into Tyler. Zila, which is the sociopathic scientist. Finn is the tech whiz. Cal is the alien warrior from an enemy class. And then Ari is the girl from 2 centuries previous out of time and space. So I thought that was really fun to have character bookmarks for everyone who got the book. That was really fun. Oh gosh, I keep making the camera shake, I'm sorry. So I wanted to share a couple of highlights. I took notes, like pages and pages of notes, as I listened to him talk, and one, it's just fun to listen to Jay Kristoff talk because he is Australian. He has an awesome accent, and you just kind of sit there and go, okay, keep talking, I'll listen to you, okay. So that was fun. But he first talked about what it's like to co-author a book, and he said for he and Amy, they divide up characters, and then they'll also like edit each other's work and stuff, but they, especially for Illuminae, had assigned their own particular characters. And then in the Aurora series, since there's more points of view, they kind of tried to divvy up, but mostly did kind of like a pre-brainstorming session and wrote character sheets and back histories of characters so that they really knew all the characters well, which I thought was very smart. Let's see, he talked a little bit about how he and Amy met, and they actually met because of the IRS, because they both make money in the United States as authors, but are not from the United States, so they had to apply for this international tax ID number or something, and met through that situation and became friends and decided to write a book together one day, which was Illuminae. So the rest of the time he spent answering audience questions, and I'm not going to touch on everything that he said here. I'm just going to hit some highlights because I don't want this video to last forever. One thing I thought was interesting is someone asked, in the end of Obsidio, we start to kind of identify or feel sympathy for some of the bad guys when things are going crazy, and I won't say what any of the events are, but she asked, did you mean for the reader to feel sympathy for those bad guy characters? And he said, yes, absolutely, because not everyone is all good and not everyone is all bad. And that is absolutely true. I mean, unless you're like Satan, then you can be 100% bad. They asked about his new vampire series. It's going to be called Empire of the Vampire, and it is written for adults. He said there's going to be lots of gore and sexy times and swearing. And in this new vampire series, the sun is obscured, so there's less light, and the vampires can come out in the daylight now, and they kind of start taking over this country and starting running things. And so I think he said it was 27 years later we meet the main character, who, he said, to put it in Dungeons and Dragons terms, he's like a paladin who has lost his alignment. I don't know what that means because I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, because I just have never had the opportunity to. So I don't know exactly what that means, but the main character was essentially a vampire assassin trying to take out some of the big bad vampires, and now he's been kind of captured and is tasked with being telling his life story before he's put to death. And so the story of the book, or at least the first book, I think, if not the whole series, is going to be him telling the story of his life. And Jay Kristoff did say that there is going to be illustrations. There's going to be a set of illustrations in the book, and I don't know if they're going to be interspersed throughout the story. That kind of sounded that way. Done by a girl named Nan, I think, who was a fan artist of his at first, and then he kind of just hired her to do art for this new book. So that will be cool. And speaking of vampires, Jay was talking about how much he loves vampires, because somebody had asked, are your vampires sparkly or are they proper vampires? And he goes, oh, they're pure evil. And he said, and I wrote this down exactly, he goes, I'm vampire trash. He talked about he's even started watching Vampire Diaries, and he's only on like season 2, but he said that he is Team Damon for life, which makes me like him even more, because who in their right mind would be Team Stefan? Just wrong. And anyway, so he's talking about how much he loves vampires, and his vampires are pure evil. They're ancient, soulless predators. So that's going to be exciting. Somebody did kind of say something about sparkly vampires, and he said, you know, Twilight gets knocked on a lot, but all young adult authors really owe Stephanie Meyer and J.K. Rowling and Suzanne Collins a debt of gratitude, because without those three ladies, YA publishing wouldn't be what it is today. And that, he definitely has a point. Stephanie Meyer had a huge impact on the YA book market, and as much fun as I like to have trashing the fact that Bella picked Edward. Sorry, I'm losing my words. Um, it Twilight is still such a good road for kids to get into reading. I still have kids now that pick up Twilight and read it and then become super excited about reading in general. So yeah, there's a little sidetrack note for you. Back to Jay Kristoff. He says, let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Technology and science fiction. He said they have a friend who is an astrophysicist who kind of vets all of their sciencey stuff, he and Amy. So he learned that airlock trope where if you're on a spaceship and the airlock opens and you get sucked out isn't really true. Like, if you were to be in that situation, you'd feel a stiff breeze across your face and you'd suffocate and fall over dead. I didn't know that. And lastly, he talked about some advice to writers. And basically he said, if you want to write, you have to sacrifice and make time to write. And he talked about different things that he would do to make time to write and not let himself hang out with friends every night or that kind of thing. He would spend time with his wife, he would work, and then he would go write. And that's what it takes if you want to write full time, I guess, is just to make yourself do it, which is a good thing. So that brings me to kind of the end of that part of the video. And then since I was in Salt Lake, which is a town that actually has a bookstore, it is the closest town that has a bookstore to where I live in another state. Of course, I had to go book shopping, and lucky me, got some extra money from work the other day because we had this little bonus thing. If you went and got your blood drawn at the health fair, they'd pay you $100. Yes, please. So I have some new books, and I went to Barnes & Noble, and I picked up a couple books. The first one is I got another copy of Obsidio, since I was kind of thinking about that series anyway, being there at the event. My copy of Obsidio is in my classroom, and it's kind of trashed, so I wanted like a nice copy that wasn't trashed. Middle schoolers will do serious damage to books, by the way. Also, by Jay Kristoff, I picked up Nevernight because I have not read Nevernight, and I couldn't remember if I already had it on my book hoarding shelf over here. So I was there, and I just picked it up, and I don't think I actually do. I haven't checked the shelf to see if there's another copy there. Then I wandered past the Harry Potter section. If you don't know, Barnes & Noble has a lot of... Sorry. Barnes & Noble has a lot of Harry Potter merch and just different things that you can get. Some is exclusive to Barnes & Noble and some is not. And I got this golden snitch keyring because I wanted to get the time turner necklace in the wood and glass display case, but it was $50, and this was only $7. And if I spent less money on Harry Potter merch, I could spend more money on books, so that's what I did. Then I moseyed on over to the young adult section and got several books. I got Romanoff, which is a new book that has been all over BookTube and Bookstagram and all over the place, and yeah, I'm not going to say a whole lot about each one of these books today just because I'm feeling miserable and I want to be done talking so that I can go drink some herbal tea and sleep. Alright, I picked up The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm, which is by Christopher Paolini. It is a companion, I understand, kind of like a short story companion to the Aragon series, and I have a student that's devouring that series right now, so I just wanted to pick that up. Another new one I got is The Last Voyage of Poe Blythe by Ali Condi. I've heard her speak before, and she's just a delightful person, and I enjoyed her Matched series, so I decided to go ahead and pick up that one. This one was like a cover impulse. It was in the teen romance section. It's called Hot Dog Girl, and this poor girl is dressed as a hot dog, surrounded by other teens, and I'm wondering if this is like at a theme park or something, because it looks like there's someone dressed up as like a Prince Charming or maybe Cinderella situation, and you've got the rides in the background and stuff, so it just looks cute, and I don't really know much other than that. Another fun one that I got, which was mostly an author purchase, is Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. This is the stepsister from Cinderella, and it's like a new villain story. And I've been told that Disney is doing some of these novels, getting actual young adult writers to write about villains. And I know Holly Black has been contracted to do the Maleficent book, so that is going to be really, really fun. Because y'all know I love me some Holly Black. The next book I got, I probably should have waited and bought on Amazon because I'm sure it'd be cheaper, but I'd rather support an actual bookstore than a huge online conglomerate, and it was there, and it was the only copy on the shelf, and part of me was like, snatch it up before someone else does. It's The Prior of the Orange Tree, which has also been all over the place on BookTube and Bookstagram and stuff, and it's massive, and it was expensive to buy in hardback, but I didn't care because I had my little extra money, plus I got paid yesterday, so I had my monthly budget completely refreshed. There we go. I have 3 more books. These were more in the superhero world genre. I have Mara, Tidebreaker by Danielle Page, which is part of the Aquaman family, I believe. Am I wrong? Anyway, it's Danielle Page, and it's a graphic novel, and it just looked really fun, and I snatched it as I was hopping on the escalator to go back down to pay for other books, and saw it there and went in my basket. And then I have 2 other books. One is a DC character and one is a Marvel character. Usually when it comes to superhero movies, I much prefer the Marvel movies just because I think the movies are better done with Marvel. But in reading books, I have really enjoyed reading the DC characters, that especially like Catwoman and those that have come out in the past few years. So I picked up Superman, Dawnbreaker by Matt De La Pena, and Captain Marvel by Tess Sharp. So we've got dueling comic book character situations here, but I don't think you have to choose DC or Marvel when it comes to those kind of things, because you can love them all. Like, yes, the Aquaman movie was cheesy, but he was beautiful, and the Avengers movies were freaking amazing, but I don't know if I like loved a certain character in those movies. It was just kind of cool that they were all there. I don't know. I'm rambling. So I have one more item to show you, and then I'm going to get the heck out of here and go medicate myself. I had to stop in a town called Park City. You may have heard it's where the one of those famous film festivals is held, that Sundance Film Festival, yeah. And it's a ski town, and the Olympics were held there, or some of the Olympics when Salt Lake City had the Olympics. Anyway, I was stopping there to get some cold medicine and thought, I'm going to go buy a Harry Potter wand while I'm here at Walmart. Don't need one, but, you know, impulse shopping today. It's kind of the theme of my day. So I got one of their mystery wand boxes, and I took it out of the outer package because it's really noisy and a pain in the butt to get into, but I haven't opened this yet, so I don't even know if this is a wand that I already have or if it's one that I don't. If I already have it, I know someone that doesn't have a wand of her own that needs one, so I'm going to give it to her. If it's one that I don't already have, I will keep it for my collection. I don't think that I have this one. I think this is Neville's wand, because it's all twisty. Hang on a second. Aha! Yes, I was right. Neville Longbottom, the hero. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's take that out of the box. Now, these are not as expensive and as high quality as some of the other wands like that you might get from Geek Gear or the official Noble Collection wands, but they are pretty nice, and if you're just wanting to build a wand collection, they're a good place to start, and they're fun because they're mystery. So you get a character bookmark of the wand that you have, and then of course this wand. And you can see that Neville's wand is all twisty at the end. And it has this nice rounded end so you don't accidentally stab yourself while you're carrying things, which, you know, kind of handy for a clumsy person like me. Alright, very nice. I have had a request from one of my viewers to do a Harry Potter shelf tour, and that'll be coming at some point in the not too distant future, I hope. So you can look for that. In the meantime, I am going to go. I know I've said that like 3 times now, but I'm really going to go take care of myself. So I'm going to wish you all a wonderful and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.